Hello guys, today I will talk to you about two dolls that, thanks to cinema, have become very famous and are known by most of us. Chucky, whose films are true cult classics of the 80s cinema, and Annabelle, with more recent film productions like The Conjuring and the eponymous film Annabelle. Exactly. Well, what perhaps not everyone knows is that the films in question are inspired by true stories. You probably knew this fact about Annabelle, but few know that Chucky is also inspired by an event, which many consider to be unreal. So here is the true story of Annabelle Chucky, the Diabolical dolls. As we were saying, Chucky is the doll protagonist of a series of films from the 80s that achieved incredible success in their time. The story that inspired the first film in which Chucky appears took place in Florida at the beginning of the 20th century. A woman accused of practicing witchcraft made a doll that she gave to a boy, Robert Eugene Otto. The boy named the doll after himself, so Chucky's real name would be Robert indeed. From the beginning, the parents noticed that their son had very long conversations with the doll, a fact that did not overly concern them. In many cases, a child talks to his toys. It's a product of his imagination. If it weren't for one day, the family's neighbors began to say that on several occasions, they had seen the doll watching them from the window. Someone also said that it moved its arm as if it wanted to greet them. A few days later, the parents began to hear different laughter than their child's during the night. Soon the house began to be the scene of even stranger events. Objects moving on their own, toys found and broken, and other dolls mutilated without any logical explanation. Eager to get rid of the doll once and for all, they tried to convince Robert to throw it away, but the boy always refused to do so. Robert Eugene Otto died in 1972, and his house was taken over by a family with a 10-year-old girl. One day, while playing in the attic, she came across the doll and asked her parents if she could keep it. Well, the next day, the girl, terrified, said that the doll had moved and that it apparently tried to attack her. The parents, particularly sensitive to paranormal themes, donated the doll to the Key West Museum in Florida, where it is still kept today. It is said that during the night, the museum is the scene of unexplainable events, and that many of the night guards have left their job out of fear. Perhaps just a simple folk belief, but this does not detract from the fact that the film is based on something that for a long time was considered real. The story of Annabelle, on the other hand, is the story told by Ed and Lauren Warren, two paranormal investigators who helped two young nursing students get rid of the doll. In the 70s, the doll from the film version only has one thing in common with the real one, that is the name. In fact, her name really is Annabelle, however, her appearance is different. It's a rag doll that portrays a character created by Johnny Gruelle for a series of children's books named Raggedy Ann. As we were saying, the Warrens founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1950, and around the same time they opened a museum of the occult in their Connecticut home, where the doll is still kept today. The story of Annabelle dates back to 1970 when a mother bought it as a gift for her daughter Donna, who was studying to become a nurse and lived with two other girls. The doll soon became part of her room's decor until strange events began to occur involving it. Donna's doll would move on its own. At first, it was hard to notice that it had moved, but soon these movements became more and more noticeable. For example, if it was left in a corner of the room, it could be found on the bed with its legs or arms crossed. Other times, the doll was left in the bedroom and found in the kitchen or leaning against a wall in the hallway, as if that wasn't enough to give you goosebumps. Soon after, Donna and her friend Angie began to find messages in the house where someone was asking for help. Both tried to find a logical explanation for the fact, but the events did not stop until the day they noticed something truly inexplicable and terrifying. Annabelle had not only moved, but her hands and chest were stained with blood. They immediately contacted a medium who said that Annabelle was possessed by the spirit of a 7-year-old girl who had been found dead inside the house where they lived. The only thing the spirit wanted was to be adopted and loved. However, it was the G. Warren couple who denied this hypothesis and stated that the doll was not possessed by the spirit of a little girl, but by something more powerful, an evil spirit. One of the girl's friends, Lou, then asked to get rid of it. That same night, the boy woke up from a nightmare, unable to move, and saw the doll first at the foot of his bed, and then climbing up his body trying to strangle him. When he woke up the next day, he swore it wasn't a dream and decided to get rid of the doll himself. Before he could act, he fell victim to another mysterious incident. While he was at Angie's house, he began to hear strange noises coming from his friend's room. He went in to check and found Annabelle sitting on the bed. As he got closer, he swore he felt a presence behind him, only to be overtaken by a sharp pain in his chest. After checking in disbelief, he realized that his chest was scratched, that he had actually been attacked by something or someone. At this point, they called the Warrens, who asked for the help of an exorcist. And to avoid any further incident, they decided to take possession of Annabelle and bring her to their museum. Ed and Lorraine also claimed that during the first few days, Annabelle was the protagonist of truly inexplicable events in their home until they were locked in a display case, and from that moment the paranormal phenomena subsided. In any case, popular belief speaks of other incidents that would have occurred in the following years, especially of people who had visited the museum and had mocked Annabelle, in particular Jason Bradford, a priest who challenged Annabelle by telling her that a doll could not hurt anyone, and that the same stay had a car accident that almost cost him his life. It's possible that these two stories are just legends, but I believe that in every legend there is a grain of truth. Those who have been following me for a while know that I tend to be very skeptical about these things, and that in the impossibility of obtaining concrete evidence, I always prefer not to commit myself too much. But what do you think about these stories? Did you know them? How much truth is there in these stories? Let me know in a comment. Before I finish, I want to let you know that if this video gets 10,000 likes, I will prepare another one in the future, dedicated to some other cursed object or maybe a doll that you don't know yet. If you like the topic, don't forget to leave your like. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like or share it with your friends. Greetings and see you in the next video of The Unexplainable.